I can heal your eyes, sir. That voice soft, young, as if it slipped right through the cracks of everything I'd been missing landed in the air like a pebble in still water. I turned my head, not that I could see anything but darkness. Central Heights Park was alive with the regular Houston noise kids, trees, a car somewhere, but my world had narrowed down to what I could touch and hear, and sometimes imagine. Judith, my wife, had brought me here every day for months, guiding me to the same old bench, and then, lately, wandering off to talk to someone on the phone. I never ask questions, not anymore. It takes energy to care when you're just trying to keep going. But this girl, she'd waited for Judith to step away. I hadn't even heard her approach. "What did you say?" I asked, feeling something in my chest that hadn't moved in a long time. "I can heal your eyes," she said again, clearer, certain. I almost laughed. "Kid, you can't imagine what's been tried. Surgeries, medicine, my own company spent years on tech that never worked." I didn't mean to sound bitter, but that's how it landed. "I don't think," she said. "I know." She was close, sitting next to me. Maybe I could sense her quiet, not afraid. "Why would you say something like that?" My voice was softer now. She hesitated, then said, "Because I heard her, your wife." She said, "You were finally blind, and she was close to getting everything." She went on, telling me she sometimes slept behind the coffee shop, had watched us for months. I heard things I shouldn't have, but I had to tell you. Her words hit like a fist to the gut. Something fragile inside me cracked. All I could do was sit there as the breeze brought Judith's voice back through the trees, calling for me. Time to go. The girl vanished as quickly as she'd appeared, leaving behind only a promise. "I'll be here tomorrow. Same time." I didn't sleep that night, just sat in my chair, turning over every word she'd said. Judith didn't even come to bed, just left a note about a late call. I kept thinking, what if I'd missed something or everything right under my own blind eyes? The next morning, nothing changed on the surface. Judith got me dressed, drove us to the park, led me to the bench, walked off. I waited, heart racing, listening. The girl showed up. "Jada," she told me when I asked her name. No guilt in her voice, no shame. She told me more. Judith was working with a lawyer. The board was preparing to have me declared unfit. I felt sick, but mostly I felt awake for the first time in ages. "I don't want anything from you," Jada said. "I just wanted to warn you." I asked how she could possibly help. "Sometimes," she said, "I feel things, know things about people. Like I touched you just now, and something shifted. It sounded crazy, but something about her raw, unguarded, made me listen." She said, "You could run, you know? You're rich. Go somewhere else." I almost smiled. "I can't just disappear, Jada. There's contracts, there's reputation. And being blind makes everyone nervous." She didn't pity me, didn't baby me, just nodded. "You're scared." I didn't answer. She stood, said she might not be back tomorrow, then hesitated. "If you need me, I'll come. But be ready not just to see, but to believe." I went home and did something I hadn't in months, sat in silence, feeling my way back through old memories. Was my blindness only about my eyes, or had I been blind a long time before the accident? The days that followed, I waited for Jada in the park. She brought me a stone from the creek, a little talisman, wrapped in cord. "I give them to people who need to hold on when they feel lost," she said. I held it tight, the cold grounding me. She asked if I remembered what it was like to be happy before everything. I thought of my son as a boy, Judith when we were new. "What would you do if you could see again?" she asked. I surprised myself. "I want to see people's faces. See if their words match." She laughed. "Sometimes people's faces lie too." She told me Judith was afraid I'd get better, because then maybe I'd leave her. I asked Jada what she wanted. "Maybe I just want to matter to someone, even for a little while." She took my hand, told me to close my eyes, breathe, remember the light. For a second, I felt it, not sight, not a miracle, but something softer like peace. Then came the fall, literally. I tried walking in the park, misjudged the path, and went down hard. Pain shot up my side, blood on my palm. Jada was there in an instant, hands gentle, firm, helping me sit up before Judith could find me. "You're too honest for your age," I muttered. "And you're too proud for yours," she shot back. She pressed a cloth to my hand, eyes sharp for Judith. She's coming. In a blink, Jada disappeared behind a bench. At home, bandaged and sore, I recorded my first real words in months. If I'm declared unfit, this is Thomas Grant. I'm not crazy. I've lost my sight, not my mind. And there's a girl named Jada who's more real than anyone. I held her stone, realizing the only thing worse than falling is not getting up. Next day, Jada gave me a ST. Lucy's metal patron saint of the blind. It was my grandmother's. She said it helped her find her way. Why are you helping me? I asked. Because people like her always win unless someone stands up. She introduced me to Walker, a rough-voiced man, not quite a detective, who used to enable people like Judith. He turned, started helping people like me. He brought evidence. Offshore accounts, fraudulent transfers, a scheme to have me declared incompetent. You've got about 2 weeks before she files, he warned. Walker connected me with Naomi Price, a sharp lawyer who listened, believed, and started moving pieces on the board. We'd file a counterclaim, freeze the assets, gather statements. Jada's testimony was key. Judges listen harder to children, Naomi said. I worried for her, but Jada just grinned. If we don't, she'll do it again to someone else. Judith started pushing for a care facility for men like you. I saw it for what it was. I started writing down every memory, every shift, every time my voice was silenced. With every page, I remembered who I'd been before I stopped speaking up. The legal storm hid injunctions, counterclaims, board meetings. Judith stormed into my study, all venom and silk. You think you've won? She spat. I've stopped losing, I told her. I played the recorder, let her own words fill the room. She turned and left without denying a thing. The board voted, and by a single vote, I kept my company my name. Judith was suspended, her lawyer exposed. That afternoon, Jada hugged me, whispering, "You did it." No, I said, we did. We launched the Light We Carry Foundation, started with an old community center, filling it with laughter and hope. At the opening, I spoke. For every child overlooked, for every voice silenced by poverty or fear, we see you, we hear you, you matter. Jada spoke too, in her way. I know what it's like to be invisible, and what it's like when someone finally sees you. Judith tried to fight back, filed claims, gave interviews, tried to spin the story. But the truth had its own legs now, and people listened to us, to Jada, to the kids. I refused to settle for silence, chose transparency instead. In the months that followed, I reconnected with my son, watched as the foundation grew, helped save a school slated for closure, said yes to new partnerships. Every victory felt like another page rewritten not just for me, but for anyone who'd ever been overlooked. Some nights, when the house was quiet, I'd touch the ST. Lucy's medal, the ribbon Jada gave me, and think about what it means to carry light not just for myself, but for others. Leadership isn't about sight, it's about vision. It's about stepping forward, even when the ground isn't steady. So here's what I want to ask you. After hearing my story, what would you do if you could see again, not just with your eyes, but with your heart? What injustice around you deserves to be brought into the light? Share your thoughts below, because when we speak up, when we refuse to settle for silence, the light we carry just might change the world for someone else.